Regular press conference by Minister Kamikawa will now begin. I have two opening announcements. Today, the second meeting of the Advisory Panel on Sustainability of the International Community is going to be held. The international community is facing great difficulties in its efforts to ensure sustainability, and Japan is strongly expected to lead the international community by re-examining approaches to achieve growth and sustainability simultaneously in a creative way. And for this perspective, the advisory panel was launched in April of this year. The meeting held today is going to be the second meeting, and we will focus on the sustainable growth of Japan, and we intend to have in-depth discussions in this way. Through such discussions, not just SDGs today, but we want to look beyond 2030 in order to have discussions on how to ensure the sustainable growth of Japan and of the international community as a whole, and how to lead this discussion going forward.
Moving on to the second item. Today, I received courtesy call from the Special Representative of the UN Secretary General for Disaster Risk Reduction, UNDRR Director, Kisho. I conveyed that the area of disaster reduction is extremely crucial to build international society protecting human dignity based on the view of human security that Japan promotes. To promote efforts in the area of disaster risk reduction, we agreed that securing participation of multiple stakeholders, including the vulnerables such as women and the children, is important. With that in mind, we will continue to deepen alignment with UNDRR. That is all from me. So if you have any question, please raise your hand, and when your name is identified, please make sure to identify your name and affiliation. Igarashi-san from NHK. Igarashi from NHK. I would like to ask about the relation between Russia and North Korea. President Putin from Russia will be visiting North Korea after 24 years for 2 days from today. He will have a meeting with President Kim Jong-un, and he is expected to sign a treaty concerning strategic partnership, including economy and security. We're expecting that they're going to strengthen the relation, but I would like to know your take as Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
The relationship between Russia and North Korea with President Putin's visit to the country, I do not think it is appropriate for the government to answer with prejudgment. But on a general note, with regards to this strengthening of relationship in ties, military ties between the two countries, I must say that the security environment around our country is becoming increasingly severe. We will continue to collect and gather information and analyze the information and make sure full implementation of the UN Security Council resolution, and would like to collaborate with the international community, including the United States and Korea. Nishiyama-san from Kyodo Press. This is Nishiyama from Kyodo Press. With regards to the nuclear capabilities of China, on the 17th, according to SIPRI of Stockholm in Sweden, announced that the nuclear warheads owned by China as of January has increased by 90 year over year and is currently totaling 500. Nuclear capability is expanding more than any country, they're pointing out. What is the view of the Japanese government and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs?
First of all, for the announcement that you have pointed out, we are aware of that. But as to the contents of the announcement from the private think tank and for the statements made by the Chinese government, I would like to refrain from making any comment. And in addition to that, China is continuing to increase national defense budget at a high level continuously, and without sufficient transparency, they are just rapidly expanding the military power, including nuclear and missile capabilities. In the Sea of Japan and in the Pacific, they are expanding and activating the military activities yielding impact to our national security. This kind of a military trend of China currently, this is a grave concern for both Japan and the international community. We need to make sure to monitor that with strong interest. Matsuyama-san from Asahi Shimbun. Matsuyama from Asahi Shimbun. I would like to ask about Japan-China relations. The other days, Director General Namazu of Asia Pacific and also Liu, MOFA Asia Director in China, have had a consultation, and I would like to know the progress of Alps treated water issue. Is there any outcome specifically through this consultation?
With regards to the consultation that you mentioned, Japan-China relationship and various other concerns that we share, as well as common interest, concern including disposal of Alps treated water. We have had frank exchange of views, and we have agreed to continue our dialogue. With regards to Alps treated water, we have seen progress in communication at the top level, and we have agreed to accelerate the process of consultation. And from the Japan side, we've requested to immediately remove the import restrictions on food produced in Japan. And also from Japan, circumstances in the Senkaku Islands and also the maritime activities, including buoys in the East China Sea, and also restraining of Japanese nationals by the Chinese authorities. We have made requests based on our position, and we also clearly communicated our position with regards to Taiwan. Between our two countries, there are many opportunities as well as numerous challenges and concerns. However, at numerous levels, multi-levels, we would like to continue our dialogues and communication. Kamimura-san from Yomiuri Shimbun. This is Yomiuri Press. So at Yasukuni Shrine the other day, there was graffiti, which is said to have been caused by a Chinese national. And according to Taiwan media, in Guangdong province and Fujian province, 11 trade travel agencies, the visa, tourism visa has been revoked, so it seems. Can you please elaborate on this?
First of all, in China, the travel agency designated by the Japanese embassy in China, through such travel agencies, visa application is made. On the other hand, the number of handling of a visa to Japan, if that is low, and if there is no attitude to promote tourism to Japan for such travel agency, due to the judgment of embassy, there will be lifting of the designation, and there is a biannual review to add other travel agencies. For this time, a general consulate in Guangzhou, as a result of the periodical review of the designated travel agencies, as you pointed out, for 11 companies in Guangdong and Fuzhou provinces, the number of visa handling was low, and there was no attitude to promote tourism to Japan. With that as a reason, there was a removal of the designation for the subject travel agencies. The reasons have been notified, and there's no relation with this case. Any other questions? IWJ Hamamoto-san. Hamamoto from IWJ Japan. I have one question about Ukraine. G7 has agreed to a framework to extend a loan to Ukraine with 50 billion yen by using proceeds of the Russian frozen assets. To this loan, the EU countries will not directly be involved. And Prime Minister Meloni of Italy has mentioned that it will be provided by US, Canada, US, and Japan. Is this true? How much will Japan contribute? If Trump is re-elected in the US, they may leave from this process. And will there be possibility that Japan would only be responsible for the support for Ukraine? What is your take?
First of all, with regards to Japan's position on loans, at the Puglia G7 summit, G7 leaders have agreed to launch the Extraordinary Revenue Acceleration Loans for Ukraine, ERA. If the conditions meet, Japan has a plan to extend loans. However, the details of how those loans will be extended and what amount, this is not decided yet among any country, including Japan, and therefore we will have more detailed discussions amongst the G7 countries. Coming to your second question, with regards to aggression of Russia into Ukraine, what policy countries will take, including our allies. This is an area of great interest, including myself. And at the government level between Japan and the United States, we are having very close communication. Having said that, I would like to refrain from making any comments with prejudgment based on assumptions about domestic matters of other countries. But at any rate, what is important is that regardless of the outcome of the presidential election in the United States, we need to address various things that might emerge and take necessary coordinations with the U.S. government. We will continue to have close communication with the U.S. government in order to realize fair and enduring peace in Ukraine. Last question, Takahashi-san. Freelance Takahashi is my name. With regards to IHR revision process at the WHO, 9 o'clock, 1st of June, in Committee A of WHO, together with the pandemic treaty discussion, this has been decided. There were many empty seats, but there were no discussions and did not count whether it fulfilled the quorum. And the IHR revision draft was read out for 10 minutes and asked whether there were any objections. And on a one-sided discussion, declared that there are no objections. WHO General Assembly rules stipulate that it must have a majority in attendance. However, this did not take place. And IHR also provides that notification to each country must be made 4 months in advance. What is the ground to say that this revision is reasonable?
For the IHR that you have pointed out through discussion in drafting group on July 1st in the general meeting of WHO on June 1st, we feel that it was accepted according to consensus. That concludes the press conference. Thank you very much.